Alright. Much peace to everyone coming through. Another impromptu gathering and discussion online right on time. So much thanks for everyone who does come through. To all the YouTube links, hit the thumbs up, hit the thumbs down, comment, share, spread the word. Have your word heard. This is an open panel, so I'll put the link in the description. Have it in the description in the chat, and basically, yeah, you can listen in or come up and have your word heard. So, once I said, another impromptu style stream. You are listening to some audio, which is an original composition by myself, made on Logic Pro. Soon to be obviously available on all good streaming services once I've laid down some lyrics. But yeah, apart from that, much peace to all as always. Just thought I'd pop on, wasn't really planning to, but got an email which kind of inspired me, so we'll see how long I stay up here and pops around. I'll give some time and just we'll chill through. I guess I'll make some time to get some coffee made myself, get a few drinks. Hopefully a few folks will walk around. So I really haven't got topics discovered as of yet, but hopefully we'll do soon. So much peace, everybody has rocked through. Atlas, my man, Nikki C, good morning and salute to both of you. Hope you're having a grand time. I just thought I'd come and do a little bit of impromptu thing. I haven't really figured out what info. If you got any ideas, anything you want to have to look up, just let me know right in the chat. I'll definitely take time to look it up. And yeah, if you want to come up, have your word heard, more than welcome. Come hit the link. So yeah, I just started off with a little bit of intro sound there, I guess. I might keep it going, but I guess I shouldn't, cause hey, we're right in effect right now in the building. Nice, just driving. So yeah, like where are we at today? It's 23rd of May at the moment, and it's actually 23:01 where I'm at on a Saturday. So if that holds any relevance to you, then that's a brilliant thing, because times are changing and things are really, it's time to be joining the pack and try not to be left behind, as they say. But be where you're at, be yourself, find your way, as I say all the time. Look inside yourself, find your direction and follow that path, link with like minds, be the best you can be and follow your intuition. But I'm just having a look through here, doing some random sort of ideas, topics to think of. Everybody's welcome and all sorts, so I'll get back into the share screen. I don't know where it was at. Let's see. Oh, we could talk. We can take some facts here. I'll talk about the Berlin Wall again. I think a little bit, just like simple facts of the past that are going on that are quite relevant. So, but this is what I thought. Where I was at. I just shared the. This was the beat which I just played, but just after that comes to the kind of, what is it, the what do they call these things, recommended videos for the user. So I've just come across this one here that I'm circling, MGK's I'm not sure. I think it's quite new, his song, and it was just quite, to me, um, I don't know. I always keep saying shocking, but the fact that the artistry or the sound production has really changed, gone to a sort of Blink 182 style, bringing back that not original era of punk rock, but that scalar punk of those bands. As I said, whatever they were, Blink 182. I can't remember all those similar sort of sounds. I'm not going to play it at all. It's not really a fan of mine, but just to see that that market is trying to be attained again. That um, I'm not sure if the man plays guitar or has any musical skill, but he's definitely appears on stage with the guitar, trying to rock out like a punk rocker in a way. And to see that come from what an artist who's on Bad Boy, I mean, shows you the diversion or diversity that can be taken in music, but also the un inauthentic, I guess, would be maybe the word, and just that the marketing and the rule, like just what happens. I mean, even here, seeing somebody, you could see here what is his name, um, Robert Wallace or something like that, also known as Rick Ross. I put in quotation marks because the real Rick Ross is not a rapper, but this man has taken this identity and like creating the song "Idols Become Rivals," and I don't know. I'm straying off on a point here, and I'm sure a lot of you guys are aware of that case. Even Future here, Future is another artist, very predominant. Um, Popular to hip hop heads, and then even just the basic teen market. But the song here, and this is all impromptu things, this is all recommendations after an instrumental I've just made that's coming up, so I'm just going off that. But he's got a song Codeine Crazy now, which has got 53 million views on WorldStar. Now, I mean, I'm not saying that's holding a lot of sway onto the amount of drug use that's going on, but to know, and I think people should know, because I'm sure often a lot of people don't realize that this gentleman, Future, does not even partake in any narcotic substance, like taking or at all. So he doesn't sip lean, he doesn't take mollies, he doesn't take Xanax. Um, in saying that, maybe he's been prescribed a couple times within his life or something, but he's not a daily sipper or anything like that. But you wouldn't get that from his songs because nearly every song is related to something similar to that of this drug culture, you know, heavy opiates and things like that. Which, and then there's another segue to go from another recommendation. If you really think about that culture that has been pushed, um, to allow big pharma to grow and put a lot of kids in drug addicted states and families torn up, people having to receive counseling or even losing their lives, such as this person here, Mac Miller, which is a supposed passed away from an overdose of some sort of pills, to my knowledge. So, um, you know, that's just something which is one is something close to my heart that I'll definitely, be talking about. And if anyone's got questions on that, I'll be more than happy to talk about in a sincere and honest, serious way, because it is no joke. I feel that addiction is an illness rather than people saying, "Oh, look at these junkies or these drug users. It's if they just didn't use, then everything would be okay." Well, if the drugs weren't available, or which way, there's plenty of arguments to make, but I don't think you should be yelling at the person who's buying a small amount of this narcotic, which is a mega billion-dollar trade. Uh, with people, selling, producing and selling tons and stuff like this, where you're going to target some man who's just having a hit. Obviously, got a problem. I'm not condoning that behavior at all. But he's found in his life or her life that it's just this is what it's come to. He finds this is his escape. Not that it is the right escape. There's no excuse, but he doesn't harm anyone else. He'll just have a small dose, whatever it is, whatever it takes. So he won't overdose. But then to receive such harassment from police and be criminalized and stuff like that, it seems quite, I don't know, imbalanced. But so what else have we got here? We've got a couple and recommendations. Black before Columbus came, the African. That would be quite interesting. I'm not sure if I'd be able to. If any of you would want to hear about that, we'll check it out. So I'll stop sharing, and I'll come back into the room. So I've got a few people up here. Thank you. Oh, we got Coleman, and we got the beach, and we got my man Mark up in here now. So, alright, I was just raving on a little bit. As I said, impromptu type stream, but so glad and welcome you guys have all come through. Hope you're enjoying. If you got any topics or anything you want to me to look up, just like write it in the chat and I will do so. But for the moment I'm kind of stuck, but I will obviously look up something, but try and get some information going. Hope you're all doing as well as possible. Gonna have a bright day ahead. I guess most people are in the US at the moment. So what was it? Okay, we just lost a few people, and but that's easy to be. That's the way it is. Oh, Beach Sand, RP Mac Miller. Absolute. Unfortunately, he was one to, um, seem. Well, I guess it's all surprising, but would be one that is made a major point, I guess, within his career and independent, especially being, a smaller, white-skinned, I guess you'd say, Jewish kid, to make it in the hip hop industry with his lyrics, and to see he had such, Billboard success with very, very famous artists. To even was it a relationship with Selena Gomez or maybe Ariana Grande? I'm not even sure. I'm not too much up with it, but to be on that level of Hollywood elite, or not elite, but artistry, and then to see he has no maybe internal satisfaction and had found drugs as his release, or escape to be able to cope. Unfortunately, his body wasn't able to handle it in the course of time, or unfortunately due to some circumstance. But what we know, it was a drug-related overdose. Now, I mean, I'll just quickly even look that up here to see what was it a barbiturate Xanax type thing, or was it an opiate? Okay, so he was saying here that it was Ariana Grande that he was seeing. Wow, okay, so alright, I'll better just share this up. So maybe you guys are familiar with this info, but I'm not, so I'll just go with it for a second. So basically, yeah, you could see here, I just typed Mac Miller death. I was going to say what was the cause in a second, but going down. So date of death was 2018 on September 7th, but 3 men, in 2019, October 2, 3 men charged in connection to Mac Miller's death. I won't go really into the article itself. It was from Rolling Stone. But says the headline of the first few sentences being Miller died of an accidental overdose on September 7 at the age of 26. An autopsy found later found fentanyl, cocaine, and alcohol in his system. Okay, so maybe they weren't barbiturates, but so it's more likely an opiate, but who's to know? So a very, very strong opiate with a mix of a alcohol and another strong stimulant being cocaine. Um, I mean, I'm not sure. Obviously, he's had issues. Just stress and things like that add up. Um, Unfortunately, we'll see if who arrived was pronounced dead on the scene, so he wasn't. People weren't able to arrive quick enough to get his breathing system or his respiratory system, you know, back in order, breathing on its own accord. So, yeah, that could be the way I flow with this, if because I do have a very deep connection and kind of understand all those things. Or well, I can feel and relate to the situation and state of loss that these people kind of like go through, or and can understand their families or whatnot. This pain they go through. So going back to where I was at and what was it saying. So what were Mac Miller's last words? It was a really nice moment for me. It was the last time he saw Miller. Looking back, I'm happy that I at least had the chance to see him in person one more time. I think that comes from Mariana Grande, to my knowledge. I think that's maybe, but it was between her and him. Um, that, I mean, that's just one, and that's just gone from like the what do you call it, recommendation video to get me to this point. But there's the drug overdose is a huge, huge. You could say even epidemic. The amount of numbers who people that do fall victim to this, accidental, intentional, or just whatever it may be. Like it could be from prescribed medication that people. You think your local GP is telling you, "Yep, I'm going to be fine. Take a couple of these the next few days," but then your body can't handle it. They haven't done enough research. Unfortunately, the person ended up dying. Um, it could be a situation where it was recreationally using or addicted, and it was like slightly too much or too strong. There's many things, and people have got how they cope with stress and things like that. Like this just shows you a few people that, well, obviously, I think this gentleman here has also passed away. I was trying to look up Juice WRLD, as he was another one that recently passed away due to a very the circumstances of his passing seem intriguing and thought-provoking. Like even in the sense, well, I'm talking of Juice WRLD here. The basic, the story that I heard is got off a private plane, and before reaching the customs, he has swallowed a whole handful of barbiturates, or so causing him to start nauseating, vomiting blood, and things like that, and then passing out, passing out and dying, due to the fact that he was carrying such pills and maybe supposedly 75 pounds on his private jet. I mean, you know, this guy was a ridiculously awesome musical genius, and the temptations I get, or just the things that, not even the temptations, the things that happen in this world and how this world runs is what can be attributed to that. Like, because it's obvious that you know the international trafficking goes on, and you can't say that the police are doing their job, the government's doing their job so much. It's just the fact that these criminals are there and they're out can sneak through. Like, obviously, there's some paid protection. There's airports, um, and like postal areas, which someone's worked in have a connection and they allow packages to go through. It just you got to be ridiculous if you think it's the case that you know the governments and police forces are really out there eradicating big time, like, drug producers. As I was stating before, they're kind of going for the user instead of the producer. Hey, what's the reason? Maybe they don't. I don't know how it is. They need certain evidence to hold a strong case and then get a conviction. And if they're not going to get that, they probably won't even bother leading into the case. That people are paid off, and it seems ridiculous. And then that same fact is in, like, I thought as a child, Australia is an island, like it's a continent, but the world's smallest continent, but the world's largest island. So saying that, being surrounded by water and no nations in its boundary, how are we receiving these kind of these narcotics, I guess, or these things, substances. Excuse me, substances like um, basically, I just figure if the police say they are doing their job in the correct sense, then they should be able to regulate, control the border, even having such GPS things like GPS World or whatever, Earth. Like, yeah, okay, maybe one thing will get in here out of a million, but the amount of narcotics that is here, like, Australia is one of the highest consumers per ratio per population of drugs in the world, um, and we pay one of the highest prices too. So just saying that is obviously a benefit in itself to the black market, which does help um, the government and stuff like that. In one sense, there's money floating around, rolling around, but also gives jobs to the lawyers. Private prisons are benefiting from this, and also um, police need certain numbers of charges to get their budget and keep it online and things like that. So actually, I'll just stop for a second here. I'll just I can see something in the chat. So shout out to everybody and thank you for everybody for coming through. More than welcome to come up as usual, have your word heard, or just listen in. But yeah, is it basically someone's on blocked on Nikki's? Because if anyone's ever blocked on this channel, um, yeah, I don't think that will be the situation. I'm pretty open and respectful, unless you to come on and, like, drop straight disrespect to someone, be racial, or just be discriminatory for no reason, and or continue to do so. That would be the only reason. But anyway, maybe I've just uh, read into something I shouldn't have. I'll have a look up here in the chat. So once again, a shout out to everybody. Good Beach says good morning to everybody. So good morning to everyone. Shout out to Atlas. Big shout out to Coleman. Also big shout out to Nikki C. So Shizzle. Merc, my man, you know what's up. Grandma, thank you for coming through. And one thing I probably will add to that is everybody, if you're out there, I could, if the mods may want to drop a link, or I could, let's try and get Nikki C to 1,000 plus subscribers um, on YouTube. That's a definite goal. Got awesome content, variety, authentic, down to earth person. You love it. If you check it out, spread the word and just help the channel grow. Um, and along with Beach, like she's congrats, she's already reached 1,000. Let's build her up. Let's get her up to 5K. That's going to be the next level. And same with Coleman. Just come and subscribe because I see she dropped some rambles there. So we're trying to express ourselves with an honest way and just make people feel a bit better in their day rather than listening to gloom and gossip the whole time. Let's just try and do something which we can resonate in a happy way and just make something of which. So I haven't got any topics that people are wanting to talk about. Nobody's dropped anything in, but that's cool. It's up to me to take control. But if you haven't got the link on any of it's in there, so if you want to just hit it and come up, it would be much appreciated. Have your word heard or just listen in, it's all cool. Where we I'm just looking through a few windows here that um, okay, it could be a bit complicated, but it's a bit of a fact. I'll share it then, because it was a fact I was looking up the other day. Oh, I've lost somebody. Losing them. No, I'm just joking. They'll be back. The where was I at? I gotta share in the Chrome tab, and you gotta go like this, and you go like that. So basically, yeah, I was just looking this up the other day. Forgot what the reason was. Someone was talking about dying of AIDS, rather of COVID, maybe something about the C19 or what. But I was just trying to say, can you die from AIDS without having HIV? And basically, that's a no. So, because HIV comes first, so what is it? So it's autoimmune deficiency syndrome, and HIV stands for. I'll tell you in a second. Human immunodeficiency virus. Okay, so there you go. Now, so anyway, HIV and AIDS are related, but they're not the same. HIV is a virus. It may cause AIDS after you've been infected for several years and it's weakened your immune system. Not everyone who has HIV will get AIDS. Okay, as we know about Magic Johnson and thing. Can you get AIDS with HIV? AIDS is a syndrome or range of symptoms that may develop in time in a person with HIV who does not receive treatment. A person can have HIV without developing AIDS, but it is not possible to have AIDS first. It is not possible to have AIDS without first having HIV. So, yeah, I mean, and how it is transmitted, obviously through bodily fluid, fortunately sharing of needles. How else can you get it through? We'll just see. What is it? How easy? How easy? Oh, it's how easy. So it's probably not. You don't just kiss someone and get it. I think something like 2 liters of saliva have to be exchanged, or more if I'm not sure, but I know blood. But HIV isn't passed on easily from one person to another. The virus doesn't spread through the air like cold and flu viruses. HIV lives in the blood and in some body fluids. To get HIV, one of the fluids, one of these fluids from someone with HIV has to get into your blood. Okay, so yeah, that's just some information that we could, hopefully you could use. It doesn't have any images actually. Oh, yeah, images. So what's the image for? Um, these sort of things. It's quite, and that's another part. Like Big Pharma, I was talking just recently. Like I say a lot. F eugenics and the chemist or the the chemist or the pharmacy is the biggest drug dealer in the world. Um, Absolutely, like they're selling. They go through so much products every day. People don't realize that, so that's on the big pharma type tip. And just that last page you were showing here, like that's all this sort of not propaganda, but information about AIDS and people and partnerships and stuff like that. And they've got if you're all down there, they've got some sort of tablets, treatments you can take, which hopefully control the disease. But obviously, as we know, and I've mentioned a lot of times on such streams, like these medicines only mask the issue. They are not treating the root of the problem. They just seem to cover the symptom to have the patient not feel any irritability or feel irritable. Um, and in light of that, the medication may cause a side effect, which may require more medication to mask that which has occurred. So I mean, it's a little bit of a round robin circle on each other, and Big Pharma is always benefiting. They're always testing. They're always trialing, coming up with new ideas, scare tactics, and which not, what not. I mean, who knows the truth? I don't want to sound like a complete conspiracy wacko theorist and stuff, but I do connect dots and have a bit of common sense and follow my intuition. So, um, yeah, to say they, to bring out such products and supposedly have such knowledge, of reputability that you've studied at a university, an institution of tertiary and all these things. So like, it's just so that therefore your knowledge is far superior than others because you're able to regurgitate the information given to you and write it down in the same form that you were taught. So basically, you did exactly what you were said, and you could remember the things that you were told, and then go into the workplace and put that into play. So, just to me, it sounds as though like something a little bit iffy is there, because I mean, if that's the truth and you're studying at such high institutions and you are sincere about your studies and you're wanting to try and help and actually compete with your peers, you'd be wanting to come up with a better idea that no longer masks the problem but actually fixes the root of the problem. But unfortunately, just as I say that, I'm thinking that the head of these nationwide medical institutions there to make sure that actually doesn't happen, and these things don't get out, like this new breakthrough that will no longer require um, so many of these unnecessary things or things that mask medications that mask the issue or can cause lead to certain side effects because even the amount of disease like I feel cancers, tumors, other such things. They've I don't really. I mean, not that I know, but I feel that it has come from the diet, the lifestyle, living standard, medication that we've been taking in the past few decades, like liver toxicity, kidney failure, and these are things that your doctor might be telling you, "Oh, just take this for your blood pressure. It's a little bit high," and then sometimes these guys are pushing tablets and products which these drug companies hold, um, conferences to and to really sweeten up the different hospitals, different doctors, different workers, different departments. They'll give them a nice um, gift package bag and things like that on the way out, nice lunch, just in order to hopefully sway them into offering this particular brand to a patient. I mean, obviously there's the right doctors that realize, hey, that's probably not the good best thing for you, so don't try it. But at the same time, there's a doctor who's going to say, well, if I write a script for this supposed drug, then I'll get a bit of a bonus. If I write 100 scripts, I'll get a bit of more of a bonus. But you know, um, I'm not trying to say either which way. I'm just telling you that's a fact. So people should realize this. Immunizations. Even today, when I went to the chemist, and I didn't realize vaccines cost. Like, I mean, you know, personally, I'm not really one to be inclined to go get one, but I'll just keep myself healthy as possible. Drink a lot of lemon, ginger, and do my thing. But yeah, to hear that it's quite a regular flow of people coming in getting the flu shot, but it was 20 Australian dollars. So saying that in that is something in itself. But all right, I'll get back off the medical talk, and I'll introduce a great friend of mine coming all the way from USA. Some female vibes coming through. Um, Introduced her before, and we want to get her to celebrating the 2K jam session very soon, but get 5K plus subscribers. This beach is better, so check it out on YouTube. If you people at mods haven't dropped the link, would be awesome. If you're there, sister, how are you? I hope you're well. If she isn't, um, she's all good, and I didn't. She'll come on when she gets time, but I just didn't realize you were there. If you were there for a while, and much appreciation for coming
What's
through
up,
as
tonight?
usual.
Hey, I'm not gonna hold up
Yeah,
time.
yeah,
Yo, yeah, I'm gonna do a celebration. I didn't know I was that close, and then when I woke up this morning, I said, "Oh shit, they get they send you notifications when you read benchmarks on or whatever for content creators."
yeah.
I was
Um,
gonna share with the people. I'm gonna do it on another live though. Google AdSense with how the monetization works, and I'll show it later. They'll send you for those of you all who are monetized after your review. Um, I'll do that on another live. They got to send you a PIN number to know how to deposit your monies as it starts accruing. So that's like something. It won't come no till about after you get your monetization approved.
yeah,
About a month later, you'll get a Google PIN number, and And what that does, it is to your address. So hopefully you use your right address. If you use a different address when you set your
I'd
account
expect it
up,
to come to
your
your
Google address
address, yeah.
to come to your address. So if you put in another weird address with your Google, you're gonna have to figure out how to get another PIN because you're gonna need that Google Access PIN number to access your funds. So you might wanna I don't know. That's something I know some people were just setting up, and initially when they came on YouTube, they were just picking bogey emails and not really putting in
Oh, I
addresses.
see.
But if one day they're gonna
Yeah.
send your PIN number to the address on file that you started with. So some people, I mean, I don't know how to get your how people move and things happen. So I'm sure there's a way to go through the YouTube process. If say, hey, I don't have the correct address. That's just something for anybody out there that's monetized. You will need your PIN number through Google AdSense to access your funds. So it's going to go to the billing address that you put when
In
you
your initial
applied.
registration. That's
Yeah,
right.
that whatever the address. So hopefully you put a real address. If you didn't, you can go back. So when is there to go back and do that? I know how long. I know it's on their terms though, how they send it.
Mm.
But they will give you another one. So it's not like all is lost. I was gonna say, rest in peace, Mac Miller. I'm not gonna comment much on him. He was a good colleague. We worked with him in the studios, and I'm not gonna because so many
Oh,
vloggers,
wow.
yeah, they disgrace his death. We block them. We don't communicate with them. Anybody that puts Mac Miller's name down and dishonors his death, we just completely block them off on social media. Because those bloggers profited off his death with the wrong information. So I'm not gonna even go there because we made a
Yeah.
um we made a promise to not speak on his death. We're just not going to speak on it. I just want to say rest in peace, Mac, and I won't ever say anything like I agreed to profit off of someone's death who's done so much, and it was premature. Regardless what people
Mm.
think, only people who know him or were there know what happened. But that's the end of
Yep.
that. Then I wanted to add on what you were saying on the HIV. That's my last point on it because I have worked for infectious disease, good paying job, and now infectious disease is a nice word for someone with something like HIV mostly. Then you got your hepatitis C people, but mainly infectious disease. Anybody working for that, they're working for the HIV unit, which is usually a separate floor too in the hospital. Some people say it's the eighth floor. Anybody admitted on the eighth floor, they got HIV, but I don't know what floor per hospitals. But typically it's a floor way up high. Nobody else goes on. They keep them on their own floor. What I wanted to say when you said that no one will die of HIV, only AIDS, that's not true. Here's why. HIV, the disease won't kill them, but the medication will. That's why you don't know anybody old. Now I don't know what Magic Johnson got going on, but for the rest of the world, you're not gonna get they they die roughly around 50. They might make it to 50. If they do, they're not going to make it past the early 50s. And what happens is the medication that they give is so strong, it kills their heart. So they all die from heart complications. That makes sense? So they don't
Mm.
die from, it won't say every single one of the patients, every one of my friends, anybody I know that has died from HIV, none of it turned into full blown AIDS. They took their medication to keep their T cell counts below what it needed to be. That you want to take the meds so that your T cell counts stay. I don't know the number.
Yeah.
Maybe it's 40, 40 under to
Within the
keep it.
range.
Anything higher than that will turn into AIDS. So you take
Yeah.
your medication, but the thing with the medication is a very strong medication and it's going to kill your heart. So it's too hard on your. It's too much. So you got
Mm.
about till 50. You got about 50, and then what'll happen is you'll start to have heart complications. You'll get admitted, get admitted frequently for heart problems. They'll try to do some those little heart implant. What do you call them? The little heart. They call them cuckoo clock. It's not a cuckoo clock, but they'll try to put in heart monitors and things to try to prolong as much as they can, but that will be the death of anybody with
Pacemaker.
HIV. even if you're below undetectable, even if you're taking your medications and you're below detectable, which means you pretty much have a barely chance to pass it to anybody. I don't. That doesn't mean you should be out here having sex recklessly. But if you're undetectable, it's hardly impossible to transmit it. But that medication that they give you to take HIV, it is strong. So that's what ends up
Mm,
happening. You may survive the AIDS and not get, because AIDS is a horrible death. It's better to die from the medication. Basically, you just go to sleep and you don't wake up, or you have a quick heart attack. Get out of bed and your heart gives out. We find them on the floor. So somehow they got up and their heart just gave out. A bunch of passing out is what will happen, and their hearts just gives out. So that's pretty much what most of the patients with HIV passed away from, is heart failure due to the medication. They're not going to tell people that, but if you do the statistics and find out what are the major deaths of HIV patients, and they'll tell you it's heart failure. And that's all I wanted to say on that.
okay, yeah, I've heard something similar on like was like related. Well, not in the sort of in like how the strength of that HIV medicine. I'll look it up. I'm not sure what it's called, but I've seen this documentary in South Africa. People are mixing it that with other things such as gunpowder and whatever they could find to use as like a narcotic, and it's like a stimulant, but then it also puts them down and things. And they were saying, yeah, your heart rate really flutters a lot. But I think niobe they call it. But it's yeah, it's basically using that pill, that HIV pill. There's something on YouTube you can check it out if people want to check it out. But
Yeah, it's very strong. And when you look, you got to look at the lesser of two evils. If God forbid anybody becomes HIV positive, you want to be on a medication, because if you don't, you are going
mm,
to go over to the AIDS status, which will be a quick, painful, brutal growth. It will be the worst death ever, and you don't want to die that way. Uh, it's awful. So it's
yeah,
kind of like I have we know someone that is positive, and we know they got about, they had a 10-year span. They're getting pushed. They're pushing it though. So we already know, okay, any minute now we expect to, they're, the next time they've been going back and forth in the hospital with their heart. So we expect it coming, like, okay, well, we know what's going to happen. Their heart's about to give out. But they had a good ride. That's a better way to go. You don't want it. AIDS is awful. You get really super sick. It's you don't want that. So when you got to make a choice, it's like, hey, I'm gonna die. That's a lie. I heard a blogger. She's completely lying. She got on there, I think somebody on YouTube. I don't like calling people out. I don't know why y'all get on YouTube and go revealing our status. I don't think that's, I don't know what that's about. But somebody got on YouTube and revealed their status and let everybody know, they're HIV. I'm like, man, you could have kept that to yourself. I don't know if people are doing that for sympathy,
each to
money.
their own.
I
Each
don't
to
know
their own.
why they're doing that. Minding my business, but this vlogger gets up there who has never worked in infectious diseases, has no clue what she's talking about, and tells everybody, "Don't worry, if you test positive for HIV, you can live alone. You can find a partner, and I mean, you may find a partner, yeah, that's sick too, but she was saying you'll live a long, healthy, prosperous life. That's a lie. You don't know no old man with HIV.
No,
I was like, why would you tell people that? That's not true. You're
yeah,
not gonna live you can live a healthy up until your heart gives out life, but you're not gonna live a long life. And I'm not saying it in a mean way. I'm just saying that so people can understand, because so that you don't get numb. People have got numb to
yeah.
the to diseases now. They don't care. It's like,
I
whatever.
think. I mean, yeah, I hear what you're saying. That's right. But the amount of passion, that's there. But I know totally. It's not a nice thing to be with. But hopefully these people. I mean, because I'm obviously thinking Dr. Sabi here, um, saying that he was able to find some sort of cure. for that. So, and in people's genetics, if they're able, if they're able to be stronger and through the diet and just push through a little bit more and not feel so horrible. Obviously, when they're going through chemo and this thing that is destroying nearly every cell in their body and trying to bring it back. So it's a hard topic, man. I mean, I don't really talking about it is even kind of well, it's we're talking about it when I don't have complete knowledge of it. So yeah, but you've got the experience with these patients, so you know, I just want to hope to think that yeah, it isn't all. I mean, yeah, probably a lot of it's easy to be down, and be depressed by it, but that positive energy, that positive thinking, maybe the natural remedies, even for some people, the other remedies might work. I know a few people have gone into chemo. Probably the youngest one was 8 years old. Yeah, so he was 8 at primary school, and he people used to make fun of him, and whatnot, and he went through it, had the chemo. I remember, and like we used to play sports together at a club, and basically he did remission, where he went into remission when we went to high school. So we were at primary school together, and just to see his coffin was something that it made me cry. Like I was 13, and just to see the size of his coffin and think that's a child. That is just but yeah, that's about it. Because that's probably, well, and that's not even age. That's leukemia. But yeah, to go through chemotherapy to I'm not even, yeah. Geez, do AIDS patients receive radioactive treatment, or is it a completely different thing?
Are you asking me?
Yeah,
Well, I don't know what you're just gonna die. I'm trying not to sound insensitive. I mean,
yeah.
once you go over the
Could.
age, there's no coming back. You're just,
Mm-hmm.
you'll be dead in a couple of days. It's gonna be horrible. It's awful. They pretty much put him in a room, and let it do its thing. I don't know what. There's nothing to do. I mean, it's a lot. It's a lot of mess. You got to keep and understand. People have to be safe. You know,
Mm-hmm.
even caretakers, and it's hard to be safe when you got things splattering everywhere. People get sick all of a sudden, vomiting, diarrhea. Between the leeches, open sores on your body. It's just kind of one of those. Hopefully people will just take their medications. They don't have to die like a lonely death, because it's hard for anybody to come in and care for you because you've already got AIDS. It's like everything's open. There's nothing left that's open. Every sore anywhere that could be in your body, in your mouth. When I used to do the HIV testing and we swabbed the mouths, and I would tell the cigarette smokers and the weed smokers, like, hey, you guys, you know how sometimes you'll get a little cut in your mouth, Sunray, say like you bite your jaw or something,
Yeah.
or you bite your tongue or something weird. But everybody's had some type of little cut in their mouth, whether you bit your jaw, it could be anything. A little could be like a little store. If you share a cigarette with somebody and they got saliva on it, it doesn't take. You can get it through the mouth. Now, for spit, we did measure out. Kissing somebody with HIV is not going to make you HIV positive. I think when we measured out how much saliva would it take to drink from an HIV patient to make you positive, it was so much, it was
Like
impossible. It
two
was something
liters or something.
ridiculous, like
Yeah.
20 gallons of saliva. You're not going to drink
Okay.
20 gallons of spit. You know what I mean?
So 80 liters. Yeah. Right. That's what I
So
see.
it
Yeah.
was like an
Okay.
impossible amount. But if you have an open store, people smoking and stuff, and they
Mhm.
passing stuff around, open sores in your mouth. And I mean, I remember, you know how you bite. I bite my when I'm eating too fast, I'll bite the inside of my cheek, and then you keep biting that same spot. You know what I'm talking about? Like oh my gosh, I
Yeah,
keep
yeah,
biting the same.
exactly.
That's an open.
I'm
That's
in
okay. That's
similar
an open
situation.
sore in your mouth, and it's also a little bit, it's fleshy. So if I go smoke a cigarette behind, whoever, and that
Kissing.
person's positive and their saliva on the cigarette and it gets in that sore in my mouth, I can contract HIV that way. So we
Yeah,
used to make sure the smokers understood, maybe, sharing cigarettes and, hey, let me get
yep,
that shot, man, and, smoking behind people, and you don't know what's going on in their mouth, and you yourself may just have a little something, a little tiny bite in your mouth, but you've opened your mouth up now to whatever anybody else has going on, and
yep.
you can uh, contract through your mouth, not
Nah,
through
that's it.
kissing, unless you're
No,
kissing somebody
no,
who
no.
else
You
got
said
sores
that.
in their mouth. Now, if you got a sore in your mouth open and they got a sore in their mouth open and you're kissing, yeah, that's different, but just kissing a person, no. But if you got an opening in your mouth. So that's too risky. So a lot of smokers was like, oh my, better if you're going you better give your cigarette to them, but don't take a cigarette from nobody else, or don't um a lot of people don't know that. They'll be passing
Yeah,
stuff around smoking and not knowing that, okay, well hope your mouth is all, you don't have anything going on in there. Which you pretty much, for the most part, we walk around with a clean mouth. Nobody walks around with sores in their mouth, but it does happen. It happens.
yeah.
Where you
Of
got
course it
little,
does. That's the
yeah.
reason why it's passed around by people. As a way it's passed the knowledge around, and that to get not to stick on such a saddening kind of topic or whatnot. And I didn't even want to really take it to that place, but it's information that people should know and be aware of, and that's right. So I mean, and you've had the experience. So, oh, hang on, what's this? Oh, this is another thing from my man Merck. Um, oh, he's talking about, yeah, okay. So that was a little comment towards the great
But
passing of
that
the
was
Mac
it.
man.
Yeah, I just wanted to add that in there. I know I saw it coming by Mac, and I'm like, man, I'm not even gonna come in except to say rest in power, buddy. And then to add to the HIV, no, you won't. HIV won't kill you from the HIV. It's the medication, though. You see what I mean? So it won't be the HIV that takes you out because you don't have AIDS, but the medication will eventually wear your heart down so bad that even a pacemaker can't keep it. Even after putting a pacemaker in, as it's no guarantee. Once you get to that point, they already know, hey, they've got to have a pacemaker. It's like a time clock. Any minute, that pacemaker is, it's meant to just really to let the people know, hey, their pacemaker stop, go pick them up, so they're not somewhere laying. But it's a
Yeah.
ticking time bomb. But they've all passed. I don't. I mean, I think the oldest person that I was aware of with HIV, I think he may have made it to 50. 52 is the oldest that I know, and
Mm-hmm.
that was 52. But everybody else was right
Well,
before
congrats.
50. They'd be about 47, right around 50. But I think 52 is the oldest person. I personally, not just, I'm not talking about statistics, personally that came to, um, the particular UAB infectious disease that I worked for that I knew personally. They made it to 52, and that was considered old, but the rest all passed, and I'm not kidding you guys, every last one of them. It says heart failure, heart complications, and that's all they put, but it's understood in the infectious disease community that they know that it was the medication. So that's really all I had to say on that. On your great content, you're doing a really great job.
Nah, that's cool. Thanks. Hey, I just came up. Much appreciation for you coming up, man. If you want to go, you can go. Stick around, because it was floating, man. I just
Yeah,
think of
I'm staying in chat.
impromptu.
I'm listening. Yeah, I'm listening. I got
Uh,
a busy. It's Saturday. I got a busy day, man. So I'm pushing
yeah.
it, hopping
Nah,
in, and
yeah,
trying to
do
get.
it. Get everybody get the things that need to be done, man. Of course.
Yeah, the banks are closing. Like I thought my bank was going to be open at 7 yesterday. I got they closing at 5. I was like, wait, y'all supposed to be open? I have the bank. I go to the bank that's actually open to 7, but due to everything closes early now, I don't know why I thought in my mind they would actually be open to 7. So I'm gonna make sure I hit this 12. They're usually open to 2 on no Saturday they would be open till 4. My bank and but because everything going on now, I ain't taking no chances. So I'm trying to get there before noon. I don't know what these hours are. So yeah, I'll be listening in and hey to everybody in the chat again. And like again, great content. You're doing a good job. And then I know you were asking me something, and I'll talk to you about it later because I was trying to figure out what you were saying on content. With YouTube.
Oh, it's
Um,
about the video, but that's all right. We'll talk about it. We can talk
yeah, we
about
can
it.
talk
It's
about
just
that. Yeah.
yeah,
I did see that. I was trying to answer, and that's why I said we'll have to talk so you can explain in detail. Okay.
yeah.
All right. Peace out. Okay. Bye.
Easy. Thank you. Oh, right. You see that? Now that's some mad information for you. Something for you to think about and resonate on and be realistic about. There was plenty different views on there, and not that I was saying I want to stick on this point. Like this is an impromptu thing. I've gone from here to there, but landing on the topic of um, you know AIDS and people passing away, which is can be. I hope that actually nobody who is listening or will listen to this has any relative um, suffering the condition or has passed away. And if you do, if there is, much condolences to go out. And if you would care to share, I'd love to hear. But if not, we should take it to a new level, a new place, somewhere, a new frontier, let's just say, upon the thing. If my main man Merc is in the house, I'd love to see if he had any ideas on topics that you want to hear about. Or anybody who's got anything, you know, or you could come up. I'll drop the link again if it's not in the, should be, but in the chat history. Just hit that, come on up, have your word heard, and or just listen in, man. Whichever way it is, I just appreciate being here. Hope you do the YouTube things. Hit the thumbs up, hit the thumbs down if you want. Comment, share, just get the word around. I'm trying to get to 1K plus subs by within 6 months, I guess. So that's my benchmark. Got to be consistent, keep moving with it, but I got to keep telling people, and hopefully, people will tell and share, and the numbers will grow, and the content will get better. So um, that's right. That's for a leaving comment from Beach there. Hashtag be safe, everyone. Thanks the doc and sanitizer. Exactly. Thanks to the doctor and sanitizer. So I mean, and that's something else. I really, I mean, that's kind of common sense, probably for most people who are here. Um, we've got this like-minded flavor or whatnot, and the we usually kind of wash our hands on a regular basis. Um, do that. It's just a part of habit, part of life, a daily routine. So when people, I don't understand how it's like. I understand that there are some really, really unhygienic people out there that just couldn't give two which ways about what, but the to tell us, oh, make sure you wash your hands every day. It's just maybe a bit over extreme because we obviously always do. Um, just hang on, give me 1 second, please. What I'll do while I make you guys wait, if I can, what I'll do, I'll bring back that. You got to go into here. I just got to pop out for 1 second. I won't be long. Um, but yeah, like I won't be long at all. But yeah, I'll leave you with a little bit of rest your ears while I can just sort out this thing. And I hope it is coming through clear. I'm not sure if I press share audio. This is not great. If it is coming through, please press 1. Thank you, Coleman, for the saying great stream. But I guess it's hard. People won't be able to get to their keyboard. Oh, I can try. Oh yeah, it'll seems to be coming through. So yep, enjoy this music. Another original composition made by myself. I'll bring it back. I'll rewind selector a little bit. Yeah, and I'll be back in just a second. Make sure you come up though. Hit that link if you guys want to come up. Come up. And we're back. Perfect timing, actually. Alright, I said a little bit of ambience going on. Alright, so this is going to give a second wave to the streaming event that is happening, or a second wind, sorry. So yeah, much appreciation. Everybody's probably just listening. I hope you guys are enjoying the day, getting through what you're doing, whatever you are doing. Once again, I appreciate you being here. So just I'll continue to deliver the most attentive, deliver material that can keep your attention drawn. And obviously not because somebody's just left, but it's all good. Well, I'm just looking for something quickly here. Sorry. Here it is. Just want to take the comment off the. Oh, how do you? Oh, well, I can do that. I got another one anyway. Whichever way went one of that. But yeah, got some candlelight going on, right? It is like it's around midnight around my way, so wicked hours coming through. Just so you know, I've obviously in the description I've given the acknowledgement to the I say original, but you often said traditional, but I say the original custodians of this land that I'm on. So I must always do that and give acknowledgement to my ancestral lineage that can guide me and help me if I'm be on my path to represent them the best as possible and be the best I may be for my future generations, which is theirs too, and may that be the same for all who are listening or watching. Give respect to your family, to yourself, to your actions, and it most likely will be reciprocated. And if it isn't, maybe I'm not saying, again, I'm not one to say that I have all the answers of all these things. I'm giving you my opinion over my experience with respect, humility, and hope to resonate and even get things off you. So with your comments and your dialogue, but the where were we at? And like to oops, I just lost the train. The train went beep beep. Um, I forgot what completely what I was at. So just you know, um, be persistent. I guess persistence is something. Oh, I forgot to rewind. If it comes back, it comes back. I should rewind it to hear what I said. But you know, it's society which we live in and which way it is. It ain't. It is what it is. It is what like we can complain every day and be like, oh, this is that. You know, why does this have to be this way? Why can't we? Blah, blah, blah. And obviously we found that that hasn't got us terribly far by just whinging and complaining to our maybe peers who are people in the same situation. Um, not to say that obviously speaking up to the right audience may be helpful and essential in getting your, like just getting your agenda, getting your story across, which may hopefully help the other party realize that you know we exist together. Yeah. So I mean, but to say even as to which way am I being too much of a hippie? Like, you know, should it be like no? We're all born on this. We're all born on this earth. Like, and born in the world. We've got the chance. Obviously, we've come from different levels and living standards of life. But am I expected to just be like, all right, my mind is thinking, um, I want to achieve this. I want this. This is what's required. This is what is required, and that's it. Bottom line, no matter what, this is what's going to happen. Like I've got to train every day. I've got to sleep on the right time. I've got to eat every day or the right time, right food. Not let anybody get in my way. Don't take no for an answer. Just legit, just be the beast that you are. Walk around with your presence, and you'll manifest such things. Like, and that could be a case, most well and truly. But and I think probably it is because that may be a problem of mine where I'm too much considerate of, I guess, others in the sense of turmoil going on around the world, the living standard that we're in, my family overseas in a developing country, even them being happy, but the living standard they see, it gets to me, and you know, I could do so. I mean, shit. I'm sure that half of the actions I did as a teenager probably encouraged half of the reasons for these things to entail. And, I'd say that in the same way I was trying to talk about things yesterday, people getting encouraged by it. Or even in this stream, how I said future. He doesn't even uh, take any Xanax, doesn't take barbiturates or this and that, doesn't drink lean, but he talks of drinks. I mean, all his songs are basically about codeine and um, MDMA or Xanax or something like that, and he doesn't even take it. So just for the popularity of it and to popularize it, because people, who haven't been through those situations probably think it's cool and it's a great feeling. So in that fact that he's not even one to be within that, but he's like not exploiting it, but even glorifying it and just bringing it to everybody's attention. And they realize people follow it, like, and then they say, well, it's your choice. Don't stick it in your mouth. You've got the guy singing the song all about it, saying, hey, I don't take them, but going, Molly Picker, sit, drink my lean, oh, codeine, oh, codeine, sort of shit like this. Every word. Hit her ass, strip her ass, say that shit. Oh, go, drink some lean, hit her sand, smack a fan, some shit like that, right? It'd be like, he's saying this, and I hear the song, but he hasn't done either or. He hasn't had any lean, he didn't have any molly, and he didn't have any Zanny scripts. So it just doesn't make sense to me, because to me this could be hitting a little bit harder because I've got a history of this sort of understanding, and I realize the outcomes, harshness, the reality of narcotics. They're a big, 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 big part of humanity, life. I don't think drugs should be as scary as they are, or the war on drugs since as thing 1921 or the 1920s or something really shaped and changed the way things are. Like, even as we were talking about Hippocrates, the father of the medicine, he was using herbs. He was a herbologist, as Dr. Sabi would say. So, um, you know, those sort of those sort of things make more sense to me um, on the natural type tip. So, um, I kind of forgot where I was going there. I just saw someone popped in. Much peace. I don't know if you've come in already or you're back, but all good. Um, I was just doing some random flipping through, talking. I'm glad I've had a cool stream. People have come through, enjoying the day. Obviously, people are busy. I appreciate you guys listening in, putting in the background of your day. It really does, you know, encourage me to keep going, and I just want this to grow. So I do hope you kind of, firstly, uh, enjoying or responding authentically, like with constructive criticism in the comments or whatever, just telling me what you like or what's cool, whatever, which way, just for a friendly advice, and this hopefully tell your family a little bit. I'm definitely doing the same. As you can see, I say it like a lot, but it's just part of the game. But as I'm doing most of these things by myself, and especially through COVID, it's like I haven't been able to drive, out of the suburbs. So seeing people, I mean, we could call and do FaceTime, but um, being when audio, you kind of really need to be with the person in the room, listening to the beats and uh, recording, so you got that vibe there going, realize what's happening, and just meeting people in general. It's a part of life. So, um, and this is another one. Music is expression. Music is I think it's a great expressive outlet, and I think hip hop is a lifestyle. You live it. It's something that just listen to it. You don't just get in the mood and be like, yo, yo, yo. It's like you're living this. You live it. It's like the culture. You think about it as you go to sleep, your favorite artist, the way art is, I mean, cuisine. Like that would be something that probably should be looked into. Hip hop cuisine, like a hip hop chef, or like I don't know, something that's really something that's an idea that could go off. Hip hop kitchen or something. I don't know. Um, and like what else? Yeah, just the friendship, the culture, the morals, the music. Um, so that is what I think it is. You got to live it. It's not just fucking yeah. Anyway, but each to their own. So where we at? All right, I'm about 1 minute. I'm going too far. Um, I'll stay on for a little bit longer for sure. Hopefully, some more people pop through a little bit later, but it's obviously a little bit early and on the other side where most people be watching. But yeah, as I said, once again, much thanks to Beach for coming through, sharing her stories of words. Really, really much appreciated. And definitely gonna talk again real soon. Merc, my man, Shizzle, um, and oh, just see what I said. Grandma, if you're still out there, drop if you're still out there, bro. More than welcome to come through. Be pleasure. But I don't know, he must have just come through and paid his respects. Coleman, if you're out there, I'd like to see you up here. Well, it seems you might be still around, hanging around. If you want to come up, have chat, have your word heard, or you do your ramble mode on your own zone. That's much fun. But yeah, I'd love to get some ramble zone going on in the South Australian side of things, on the side of the world, if you know what I mean. Yeah. But as I get into that, we're going to get into this and get into that. And doing what I did before, trying to change the ambience, I've obviously done something in another direction, which has caused me to go to another situation. Hang on a minute, everybody, please. Sorry once again. Give me another second. I'll be right back. I said I'd be back, but I forgot to unmute when I said it, so I didn't wicked culture. Uh, so yeah, got a couple of people hanging around. How we want to take this? Like, sort of float around like 22. Time flies, man. 8 minutes. Maybe we'll chop it off, but yeah. Let's hear some from the audience. Unless maybe you don't have the you want to hear what friend Nick C in July or wherever, I'm gonna run over and say hello there. So, and I encourage you all to do the same. Um, as I said before, I would hope she gets 1,000 subs. She will. So much peace, much love. Thank you for hanging around, being here. If you like ganja, that's for you. If you don't, I'm sorry. But, um, it's just a bit of part of life. But, stay tuned, and I'll definitely see you soon. And I really appreciate you guys coming in. Thanks a lot. Stay yourself. I'll do what I end up at. Look inside yourself. Find your direction. Follow that path. Be the best you can be. Follow your intuition. And be yourself. With respect. And I guess how I could do it, I'll do it with the same. I guess I might end just with the outro like that. So we in and we out. Peace, peace. Well, a lot of it, yeah. Always.